Hi friends, how are you doing today? You're watching YouTube channel Raman's Coaching and I'm your IELTS expert Ramandeep Singh. Today's video is going to be a mock session of a IELTS speaking interview. What you can expect in the real IELTS speaking interview you would experience by watching this complete video. The student is right in front of me. I will try to ask certain number of questions that you may expect the examiner can ask you and invest the amount that a student can expect during a speaking interview, which can be around 11 to 13 minutes. Let's waste no time and start the interview with the student, and in the comment section you have to tell that what bands you think that this student should get from the examiner. Though the examiner also have the privilege to record the speaking interview, they have a small transistor that we do not have here, but I have an add-on. This is an hour class, rather 2-minute class. I will turn it on once he is going to start his cue card, but it's just I'm having it here. In the real exam, the examiner would give you the hint, that is your 2 minutes time is over, otherwise you have to continuously speak to ensure that you do not speak less than 2 minutes. So let's start the speaking interview with the student. May I have your name, please?
My name is Vansh. You can call me Vansh.
Okay, Vansh, and can I see your passport, please? Thank you very much. So, Vansh, can you tell me where you come from?
I'm a resident of Moga, which is a city in Punjab.
Okay. How did you get here?
I reached here on my two-wheeler and it took me 20 minutes to arrive here.
Okay. How is the weather outside?
The weather outside is very pleasant as it is raining outside.
Oh, really? It's raining?
Yes.
I cannot see the rain as I'm in this room. So let me ask you some questions related to the topic movies. I hope you like watching movies.
Yes, sir, I really like.
Okay, so what type of movies you prefer to watch?
I have quite a list of genres which I like. I like romantic movies, movies based on novels, especially autobiographic movies. Like some are thriller, or most of them are also dramatic.
Okay, which movie you have watched recently?
I had recently watched a movie, Shutter Island, which is a movie by famous actor Leonardo DiCaprio.
And did you find it interesting?
Yes, sir. It is really very amazing movie as it has also won an Oscar award.
Oh, really? Okay. Now tell me that do you prefer to watch movies with your friends or family members, or prefer to be alone?
While watching movies, I really prefer to be alone as I want to be focused on the movie and do not want to be interrupted by anyone else.
That's nice. And if you have an opportunity to watch in cinema, would you prefer to watch movie in cinema, or you prefer to be at home?
I would definitely prefer to be at home, but if I am going to watch movie with my friends as a plan, I would definitely go with them.
Okay. Let's move on to the next topic, and let me ask you a few questions related to advertisement. What type of advertisement do you prefer to watch?
I really prefer to watch those kind of advertisements which are relevant to my search, as advertisements which are not relevant to my interest or meant nothing to me and just a waste of time.
Can you give an example here?
I can give you example like sometimes I really like to watch advertisements about movies, or sometimes of technology, as they give me up-to-date information about upcoming stuff.
Okay. How do you generally react when you're watching your favorite show and there is an advertisement in between?
I really frustrate on such situation because I am really the one who do not want to be interrupted by anyone. As I mentioned before, that I prefer to watch movies alone because I do not want any nuisance while watching something serious.
That's true. What do you think are the various sources to get advertisements?
I casually receive advertisements on my mailbox, as well as on my social medias, but I really like to watch advertisements on social medias as they are really very relevant to my likings or my preferences. But the mailbox actually is full of spam ads, and I do not bother to open any of them.
Okay, let's move on to another topic now, and let me ask you a few questions related to farming. Have you ever been to farms?
Yes, I once visited on a farm with my family as a trip to house of my uncle, and I kind of enjoyed it. But being living in a city area, I do not see farms much.
Mm-hmm. Is farming a common occupation among people in your country?
Yes, farming is quite common in my country, but in my state Punjab, it is major occupation for people, as they are having a lot of knowledge about farming, as well as their culture also tells them to grow crops.
Mm-hmm. Is it common to see people living in cities growing fruits and vegetables in their homes or gardens?
Yes, it is quite common to see people farming fruits in their backyard or in front of a front lane of their house, as they found it very hygienic. They trust their own farming. This way they can enjoy healthy fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, and I guess it's the end of the part 1 of this test. Now I'll give you a cue card, and you will be having 1 minute to prepare your answer, and then you have to deliver a speech for around 1 to 2 minutes. Here is your cue card, and if you wish, you can make some notes as well. Your 1 minute preparation time starts now, and then you have to deliver a speech of around 1 to 2 minutes. I will inform you if the time is over. Preparation time starts now. Well, the 1 minute time is up. Please stop writing and you may start the answer.
So I recently went with my friends on a trip to Kariri, which is in Uttarakhand, and we went over there on a bus, and it was a quite 8-hour trip, and we were talking about some problems which are still present in our nation, and one of my friends started saying that if dictatorship would be there, everything would be resolved, and my other friend, who is really very attracted to democracy, felt very bad about it as he was against dictatorship. At this point, I was very quiet. I had no idea what they are talking about, because I have no interest in politics or any kind of such thing. And at some point, I really when they started arguing on this, I was like, what are they doing? And after some point, they started the argument very loud, and my friends took attention of everybody in the bus, but I was laughing at the point. I was really very enjoying the moment. But after about 20 minutes of the travel, I felt really very frustrated on their conversation, and I shouted on them, and as it was really very weird to be in such a situation in public, and it was also very embarrassing for me. But they still argued a lot, and they were just about to fight, and so I knew how to tackle this fight. I took my snacks from the bag, and their attention diverted to my snacks. It was very It was very funny, and everyone in the bus laughed on the situation. And by eating snacks, they forgot about the argument. And finally, we reached Kareri without making any scene in the bus. But overall, it was a fierce argument my friends had on that trip.
Okay, fine. And let me ask you a few more questions related to the same topic, okay? Do you think that sometimes arguments are important?
Yes, arguing is really very important, as only a person is speaking and the other one is quiet. How can someone know their own opinion? As well as everyone has a right to speak and provide and give their own opinions about the topic.
Can you share an example here?
As I mentioned before, that my friends had an argument about dictatorship and democracy. So from their argument, I learned about politics as well as democracy.
What do family members generally argue about?
Generally, family members argue on small things like food or accommodation, about a trip they are planning for months, as well as they also argue on cleanliness, as their point of views are not very similar. At the same time, it can also be some money matter.
Yeah, that's true. Is it easier for you to have arguments with your friends or with family members?
Would you mind to repeat the question, please?
Sure, I think, is it easier for you to get into arguments with friends or with family members?
No, I really do not like to argue with others. I prefer to listen a lot, and I am a kind of listener. I prefer to listen others' thoughts, and after that I recall those thoughts and try to judge whether those are really very important or not. But still, I argue with my friends because I am more comfortable with them, and our principals do not teach me to argue with my family members.
Okay, that's nice. Do you think that people should change the way they think when they have arguments?
Yes, it is really very important. In an argument, everybody should be open-minded and always be ready to change their thoughts, because arguing is like listening new thoughts which they never knew before. So they should always be ready.
If two people argue, do you think a third person should be involved for settlement?
Actually, it depends upon the situation. If an argument is really very serious, no one should be involved, and the third person should try to end up the conversation right there. But if the argument is really quite friendly, so he can involve and give his own thoughts.
So that's pretty much the end of this test, my dear friend, and I wish you all the very best. Thanks for coming.